So starting the test drive in this SQ5, this thing is pretty quick for an SUV. What makes it feel even faster is this exhaust. I mean, this exhaust is just so great. It's just fun to put your foot into in terms of just getting it up and going. Yeah, just a nice sound overall from the vehicle. I mean, the brakes are very nice, just a comfortable braking feel just from the pedal to just the bite that you get as you put the brake pedal down. Woo! Yeah, that thing is so quick off the line. And you just have that rush because you have an all-wheel drive system here, so you're not having tire spin or anything, you're just gone. And I had it in manual mode there. That was very exhilarating, let me put it that way. I'm probably gonna put it in the regular drive mode and then stick it into just the auto drive mode for now, or actually comfort. We're gonna see how that does. Now I do like how quick the auto stop is. When I hit the brakes hard, it's already ready to stop almost before I hit a complete stop, and then when I let off the brake, it's ready to go instantly. So it's one of the quickest auto stops I've actually experienced. For those of you that don't necessarily like it and don't want to have to turn it off every time, it's a decent system. It doesn't take forever to turn the vehicle over. But that exhaust note does not get old. And one other thing is the everyday driving dynamics of this vehicle is just so easy to drive while still sounding incredible and still being very quick on its feet. I mean, just in this stop and go traffic here, it's easy to manage. So we're gonna try and give it a little throttle here, getting on the interstate. Yeah, pretty quick. Now it's not as quick to shift in this comfort mode, but it still gets up and going when it needs to. And the overall ride quality is pretty nice. And again, with this being such a quick vehicle, it's very easy to maneuver in and out of traffic, but also it's comfortable when you don't need to drive a certain way in rush hour traffic like I am now. I mean, just the steering in comfort mode is very comfortable. And again, it still has its quickness, it just doesn't unleash everything like in the dynamic mode with the transmission in sport mode, which is great, but I mean, this comfort mode is nice for what it's meant to be used for. Now, in terms of competition, I always think the Porsche Macan, and then even the Cadillac XT5, but just from a performance aspect, just what you get here, this is one of the more fun options to drive, and I think you can get probably a similar option for Mercedes or BMW. I mean, they basically just make 20 different SUVs now, but to me, I think this is one of the more tried and true models because the Q5 has been around for a minute, as opposed to BMW dropping a new X and then Mercedes going from GLE to GLK to GL who knows what. So here, we've had the Q5 model for quite some time, so I don't feel like there's been a lot of stuff going on in terms of changing what's good or not having enough time to change what's bad. But highly recommend this sport exhaust system. again, it just sounds fantastic. It's just fun to put your foot in this thing too. Just overall, I mean, the torque is there, but with the exhaust sound, it just sounds nasty. Now, I want to say this vehicle was in the mid 50s price point. I'm gonna check real quick. Yeah, so 56.5 or 56.4, not a bad price, I think, for what you get here. I mean, miles aren't terrible. Still drives like new. I think the condition that this one is in still feels stellar. And I think this is something that you don't see a lot of. So a lot of people might have, I guess relatively more people have the Q5 as opposed to the SQ5. And I think especially in this gray here, it pops in a subtle way. So you might see one of these sitting around like, what is that? It's not necessarily gonna garner police attention easily, but if you know cars, you'll be like, oh wow, yeah, that's money right there. And I think if you're in this segment, that's kind of what you're looking for. Something that looks nice, that's fast, not necessarily too over the top, but you also feel like you bought something special. And I think that's what this brings to you. And just how Audi has come with the tech, pretty much all the manufacturers have been trying to catch up with the new safety tech in terms of having lane centering, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitors, all of that. The first Q5 didn't have nearly as much as this SQ5 has. Now we're gonna give this thing one final pull here. And this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2023 Audi SQ5.